the latest edition of the CHL Top 10 Show. I'm Scott Van Kunit, and today I check in with two teams that have been in the CHL Top 10 for 19 of 22 weeks. From the top-ranked Baie-Comeau Drakkar, it's Justin Gill, and from the 7th-ranked Portland Winterhawks, it's Tyson Jugnauth. Now in his 5th season in the QMJHL and first with the Drakkar, Justin Gill is helping pace the CHL's top team to a franchise record-breaking season. The New York Islanders prospect also sits second in Q scoring. He tells us about playing on one of the most dynamic lines in the CHL this season, what it was like playing with the Gauthier brothers and now the Boilard brothers, and why he feels like this is his best shot at winning a title. Here's Justin Gill. All right. My first guest today is from the top-ranked team in the CHL for an 8th week this season. They've been in the rankings for 19 straight weeks. He's a New York Islanders prospect from the Baie-Comeau Drakkar. It's Justin Gill. Justin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
I'm pretty good. Each week I get a little bit more excited. We get closer and closer to the playoffs. For you right now, you are sitting second in the Q scoring race with 89 points, which is, you know, what you were brought in to do in Baie-Comeau, but also be that veteran presence that they were lacking a little bit of, with the playoff experience. How much fun have you been having in Baie-Comeau this season?
People that know Quebec knows that Baie-Comeau is pretty far away from everything. But so far I've been loving it. Just being like doing all the things with the boys, couple activities, really being together, and also help us focus mainly on hockey and get the wins.
I've heard that from a few guys this year that they like the going to play in some of those smaller markets because you're with the team so much and you guys are always together and closer together. How important is that as you strive to go on a deep and long playoff run?
Well, I think it builds chemistry within the teammates. Every time we go and playing away, it's at least 3 hours away. So it's a lot of buses, a lot of road trips, hotels, and meals that we're spending together. So it's a lot of quality time for us, especially juniors. It's some of your best years of hockey. So honestly, to be able to be like that close from to my teammates, I think it helped us a lot within our chemistry this year, and we've shown some great results so far.
Yeah, you guys are sitting at 49 wins right now. You might end up being the only team in the CHL to hit 50 wins this year. But what was it that Coach GM Gregoire, said to you when you were first acquired and then came in late summer this year?
Like you mentioned earlier, he wanted me to have a impact offensively. Probably like something that they've been lacking of the last couple of years, but also bringing a veteran impact since I'm 20 years old, like my last year, and also some playoff experience that I had over the last couple of years, going twice in the semifinals.
And of course, you obviously did that with Sherbrooke, and it wasn't long before you returned to Sherbrooke for the first time. I think it was the 10th game of the season, which ended up being a 3-2 win for you. You had a goal and assist. What was that game like for you? Just going back there and going into the visitors' room, just after going through what you went through with that club.
No, it was very special. Obviously, seeing some old teammates. I know a lot of our team from last year moved on to the next level, but I still had some very good friends on the other side. So obviously, it felt weird at the start, playing against other teammates or older coaches and everything. So, but it was a fun experience, just to be on the ice against them, scoring a goal. It was a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, it's always better when you win, right?
Yeah.
And just a second ago, you were talking about the chemistry and how you guys have generated some really good chemistry this year. What is it about your line mates, Malofsky and Poirier's game, that you guys have been able to mesh so well? Obviously, like you say, off the ice, but on the ice as well.
I mean, I honestly, I just think we have so much in common that it brings us together. we have some very good different qualities. I think Milowski is probably one of the best playmaker in the league. He's always gonna find you on the ice. And Poirier, I mean, he's at 17 years old, he's close to scoring 50 goals. So I think he's one of the best goal scorer in the league, if he's not the best already. So and for me, to mix that with my physical strength and also my IQ play and my shot, I think we complete each other very good, and I think we're really dangerous in the offensive zone at any time.
Well, you guys have shown how dangerous you are because obviously anybody who plays you guys have your three names circled, your lines circled whenever they're game planning, but you guys are still racking up points all year long. How much pride do you take in, the ability to keep producing while facing the number one, the number one lines and the number one defense, shutdown defenseman every single night?
Well, it's we approach every game and every team like with the same mindset of having a great game offensively. But I think it starts from our D zone. I think we play very good on our end as well. So that's created us a lot of scoring chance on the O zone with odd man rushes and stuff like that. So for us it's just to not to look at who we're facing, but how we play. We just want to play as hard as we can every night to bring the wins for the team.
And like you say, you start in the D zone. I know plus minus isn't the be all end all stat, but you're sitting second in the queue at a plus 51. So that just goes to show how much, not only are you filling the net at the other end, but you're not letting it in on your end, which is obviously important as we get closer and closer to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you said, Poirier is such a dangerous goal scorer, and racking up the goals the way he is at his age, not many people do. What makes him such a dangerous goal scorer?
Well, honestly, it's a shot. It's my fifth year in the QMJHL, and so far, from 20 years old to 16 years old, I've never seen someone with such a hard shot and such a quick release. I mean, he could score from the red line probably. So his shot is just terrifying for the other teams, and he can score from every angle, every places, and with every shot. So it's really impressive to see.
Now, he obviously got snubbed from the Kubota Top Prospects game this year. Um, is that a situation where, as the veteran guy on the team, a guy who's dealt with some adversity throughout your junior career, do you say anything to him there, or do you just kind of, wait and see if he approaches you to talk to you?
No, we had as a teammate and also a lineman, I had a little chat with him, just I'd never been to any type of game like that, and I was not even considered being, a draft picks in my first 2 years. So, and like I told that to a lot of couple guys that are on the edge, and I told them it's junior hockey is like it's 5 year, it's quick, but it's also like a marathon on your development. So some games are probably like me, late boomers. They can like they go off a little bit later, and some guys, it's earlier and it's to their advantage. So, I just told him, to not stop working, not stop doing what he's doing. I think he's one of the best at doing what he can do best. So, to just going through, I think he told a lot that it gave him a lot of motivation as well to prove them wrong. So just to use that motivation on the ice, and I think it paid off so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's not too dissimilar to what Jordan Dumais did after getting snubbed a couple of seasons ago as well, who
Yeah.
went on a tear afterwards. At this point, it's not a matter of if you guys are going to clinch the regular season QMJHL crown. It's more a matter of when, because if my math is correct, you guys only need 2 wins, and that doesn't, Drummondville has to basically win out to have a chance. So 2 wins and you guys secure top spot in the queue. Might be the only team in the CHL that hits 50 wins this year. You did it last year on Sherbrooke. How difficult is it to win 50 plus games in the QMJHL and the CHL in general?
I mean, we're playing 68 games, so it's just to be as consistent as you can all year long. So of course it's not an easy job. We we face some adversity, a lot of times with injuries, guy going to World Juniors and everything like that. But I think we stick like a family. We stick together and supporting each others. So I think so far we've done a pretty good job at this, and we're looking forward to keep doing it until the end of the season to be ready for a big run of playoffs.
Now, the Drakkar franchise is in its 27th season, I believe, and they've only hit 50 wins once, and that was back in 02-03 when they played 70 games. So what does this mean? Obviously, the goal is um, the to win a Q championship and then go on to the Memorial Cup. But what does it mean to the franchise just to have this type and the city to have this kind of a run that you guys are on this season?
Well, I think we noticed it like a lot, this year. Baie-Comeau is much more of like a smaller market, like you said. There's probably I think 3,000 people that can be inside the rink for a game at the maximum capacity. So I think since the start of the season, we almost we were filling up pretty much the rink, and maybe that was something that was not happening in the last couple of years. So we can very see and notice that the city like all the city is behind us, even on the street. We and the coaches told us the story that the city is very behind us, and we saw it. Last Wednesday against Drummondville with a sold out crowd on a week game. So no, it's been very nice this year. We're very grateful for them, and like I said, we're looking forward to keep doing it during the playoffs.
What does it mean to the guys in the room when, not only are they coming out to games, but you see stuff out when you're out around town too?
Well, I think it gives great exposure for a lot of guys. Also with all the good prospects that we have in our team, it brings a lot of scouts and everything for our games. So I think a lot of players gonna use that advantage to themselves, and I think everybody's playing very great right now, and the fans are very excited as well.
Obviously, everybody wants to get on the score sheet by, racking up points and being the leaders in the league and stuff. But you guys, like you said, it starts from from defense out, and you back it up with, you've allowed the fewest goals in the entire CHL with just 146 goals so far, which is about a 2.39 goals against, and almost double for your goals for at almost 4.5 goals for per game. Um, the closest this team has come to winning a Q championship was back in 2014 when they lost to Anthony Mantha's Valdor Forer in 7 games. What makes this team, better prepared to win the Q and then earn a berth in the Memorial Cup presented by Dow than say, the team that you played on last year in Sherbrooke?
Well, I think it's very two different teams from this year and last year. If we're talking like coaches, I think it's they like the coaches that I had last year and this year, they're both having the same experience. But I think this year, like you said, we're really focused on allowing the fewest goal as we can, and to put that up on the other side and put some goals in. So and if I can, compare this team from this year and last year, I would just say our depth and our grit also. We this year we only have 2 players that are drafted in the NHL, and last year I think we had probably 9. So we're less skilled, but I think we're working very very hard, and the coaches are pushing us to work as hard as we can every single day, and I think that reflect in the game on how hard we play, and how good we're on little details like forecheck and tracking and stuff like that. So I think with what we practice all year long, I mean I think it paid off for us this year, and we're having a good year. So.
You guys have the third ranked penalty kill in the queue right now, which is a good thing because you also lead the queue with the amount of penalties that you've taken. Obviously, you can't afford to give up those opportunities in the playoffs, but how do you toe that line of playing physical with an edge but not crossing over and getting penalties because you don't want to give up any, any extra opportunities.
Yeah, I think it was something I would say before the first half of this season that we weren't like happy about. We were giving a lot of PKs to the other teams, but also we weren't doing very a good job on the PK as well. So I think it's something after the Christmas break, I'd say that we really try to focus on, and I think we got it back pretty good on the PK side, and also playing with more discipline in our game. We know we're big, and we know we like to hit and play hard, but you gotta find the right line to not cross it, and taking penalties that maybe you shouldn't take.
It seemed from the outside, it was a bit of a shock when Ciarlo got moved for Gravel. How has he come in and kind of just solidified the crease for you guys?
Well, it's just you can see with the his results since he got here. Every single game he gives us a chance to win, and he's been playing very nice also lately against teams like like Drummondville on Wednesday. It was a huge win. He was a huge part of that win, and a couple of weeks back, a couple of shutouts as well. So we're confident when he's in the net, and we have a chance to win every single game. He's in.
When you play against a team like Drummondville, who has your former teammate Ethan Gauthier on it, um, what's it like when you run into guys that you've been here 5 years? Obviously, there are guys all over the queue that you've played with. What's it like when you run into guys on another team that you've played with before?
It's always funny. Me and Ethan, we had a very good relationship. We've been on the same line for the last 2 years. So facing him at starts, every time we're on the ice against each other, we always like have a little smile on our face after every wrestle. A little talk. Try to get into to the guy's head, but at the same time, in a funny way. So it's been really funny. And but also we like to challenge each other. So when the puck is on the ice, we both want to help our team win. But it's pretty fun to have that kind of rivalry and friendship at the same time.
After a game like the other night, do you guys exchange texts or do you wait a couple days before you reach out to them?
No, no, we've texted each other like the day before, and we've met each other in the hallway, after the games, to catch up and on what's going on. So no, Ethan is a pretty good friend of mine, so it's every time I see him, it's a good time.
One of the other guys that you guys brought in this year was Angus Booth, who obviously has some Memorial Cup experience, really comes in and helps add some depth to that back end for you guys. What does he bring to that lineup? How important is it to have somebody with, Memorial Cup experience come into the lineup and help out with that decor?
No, yeah, it's for sure. We're not the oldest team in the league, and especially on the back end, we have Alexis Bernier who's 17 years old, Alexis Mathieu who's 16, and Gilbert who's 17. So just to bring that experience, and you can like teach the young guys, how it and what it takes to make it to the end. So, and also for us, like, as a team, it's just like how calm he is on the ice, how every play that he makes, we know he's going to be the good one and the safe one. So, for us, it's a very big thing to have him on the back end, just to solidify our defensive that was already very good before the trade deadline.
And then the other main piece that you guys brought in was Donovan Arsenault to help, add some more scoring depth to the team. With all three of those pieces, what do you do as a veteran guy to help, bring them into the fold, which obviously it could be a little bit trickier for some people because you guys are already so tight as a unit. So how do you welcome these new guys in and make sure they feel like part of the team as quickly as possible?
It's just really as soon as they get inside the locker room, just welcome in, and you know just told him like he's already part of the family. Just don't be shy to to talk and everything. And I think so far, Donnie and Booter have been a really good job. And also they're not guys that are shy, so it helps a lot on the the talking side and everything. So so far we've been having a really good time with these two guys.
And we, obviously mentioned Goche, mentioned um, how you guys played together, and his brother was obviously on that team as well last year. This year, you've got the Boilard brothers on the team together. It seems like you just get to play with brothers all the time. So, do you have any good brother stories where maybe they got a little too heated together, or they just did stuff that brothers do for us?
Yeah, it's always we had that with Ethan and Kalen last year. I know it's it's pretty much the same thing with Jules and Raul. Just some little things that maybe if I would do with another teammates would be like very very calm and everything, but with these two like just a little heating moment for them as brothers and everything. Just I remember once we were playing a little soccer game before. The soccer ball before the game, and just one of the brothers decided to kick at the other brother, so it's because he killed him. So it's pretty funny. It's just stuff like that, but also it brings us together. It's moments that everybody's laughing and we're having a good time. So they've been really good for us so far this year.
And on the ice, they sort of seem like Henrik and Daniel Sedin because obviously playing on the same line together. I know they're not twins, but they just seem to be able to. They know where each other are on the ice all the time.
Oh, it's sometimes it's crazy. They make passes that I would have never like see that passes go through and ended up on the other brothers blade. So it's they're having a very good chemistry. They've been playing together for a long time, and you can see it helped us a lot this year, their chemistry. And they're two very good players. So also it brings a lot of offensive play, and we're really happy about it.
For you, like we've said a few times, it's your fifth, it's your final year in the CHL. As you've been, hitting up rinks and cities for the last time, have you been able to kind of soak it in as you go into these arenas and step on the ice that, this is my last time in certain spots?
Yeah, this year, unfortunately, Emile Chouinard step out of hockey for cancer related. So it's only me and Isaac Dufort as the 220s for now. So it happens a couple times that we would go like especially on maritime trip that we just go once a year and be like it's probably the last time we step into that rinks. So you know it's it's not stuff that it's sad. It's just it goes by so fast. So as I try to tell the younger guys to take as much as they can because I wasn't believing it when I remember Matthew Welsh when I was 16 in Charlottetown told me that it goes by so fast. I was like, yeah, it's 5 years. It's pretty long, but when you face it after 5 years, it goes by so fast. So yeah, we've been trying not to think too much about that as well.
Well, how have you, as a player and a person, kind of evolved since that first, since your rookie season in Charlottetown in 2019?
Well, it just you adapt to the game. I think at 16 year old, it's more like of trying to learn, how to play the game because it's very different from midget. And every year that goes by, you learn more and more. And I think when you're like at your full potential in the QMJHL around 19, 20, it's very now that you see the eyes differently. You see the plays going smoother. So. You just just trying to do your best, and it with what every players that went through your teams, teach you or everything. You have so much information with coaches and everything. So when you get to these older years, you feel very more comfortable on the ice as well. So yeah.
And this past summer, your name was called by the New York Islanders at the draft. Were you expecting it? Was it a surprise? Where were you when it happened?
Well, as a 19-year-old, you're never sure. It's pretty much your last chance. So, but I had some very good talks with them a couple of months before the draft, and I had my last interview was with them was like 4 days before the draft. So, I had some very good expectation with them, but also with with other teams. But when I got when my name was called by them, I was so happy to go there, honestly. So, it's been very nice.
And I'm kind of curious how, obviously, you went to Vancouver's rookie camp the year before. So how did the Islanders rookie camp compare with the Canucks rookie camp after being as an invite versus a draftee?
It's pretty much the same. In Vancouver, we went for a little tournament with all the West Coast team from Canada. So, but in New York, it was only practices within the rookies. But I think you approach the camp the same way as even if you're like a draftee or invite. So, but honestly, when I got to New York, I already had the experience of one pro camp, so it really helped me, going into that camp with my with less stress that I was on my first camps because I know what to expect a little bit, and I think I did a pretty good camp there, and they were happy about it.
And when you got sent back, what was their message to you? What did they want to see you keep working on and work on throughout the year for to be prepared for next year when you turn pro?
Well, just to be more, a complete player. They knew that I had some good offensive touch, but they wanted me to work on my, on my defensive zone as well, and just to gain some experience. They knew that we would have a good team in Baie-Comeau, so and they knew I would have some great ice time. So they didn't want to waste probably a year of development in the American League on being healthy scratch and playing on the fourth line. So I've been grateful for them for giving me the a last opportunity to win the Memorial Cup. And I think this year I've never believed in so much of reaching that Memorial Cup. So I'm very happy about it right now.
And now the coach in New York is obviously it's Patrick Waugh, whom you're familiar with by being coached against. Um, Kind of cool, excited to potentially be coached by him one day.
Well, it's Patrick White. It's one of the legend of the game. So obviously it would be such an honor to play for him. And I've played against him. For the last couple of years. So I know a little bit how he is, and I had friends that played for him. So I know a little bit how he works, and how he's pushing his player hard. On the work ethic and everything. So I know a little bit what to expect. And also, I know very well Benoit Desrosiers that got hired with him as a assistant coach. So I know him since I'm probably like 5 or 6 years old. So that's gonna help me a lot on for the next couple of years in the organization for sure.
For sure. Well, 7 games left in your season right now in the regular season. What do you guys have to keep improving on, building on as you prepare for that first round series, whomever you end up facing?
Well, it's just to approach every game like it was a playoff game. To kind of kind to a little bit setting the games and how we want to play during playoffs. So it's not to take a step back because we're uh, we're probably going to clinch the season title and just taking a step back after that because we're like, oh, it's fine, we're having the home ice advantage and everything. It's ready to keep pushing, and we want to win all these games as well. So it's very these I think we consider these 7 games as a kind of like a preseason for the playoff and how we want to play in playoffs.
It starts with a home and home against Chicoutimi this weekend. Do you have to? Does the coaching staff have to say that message where like, hey, we're not taking our foot off the gas. Like w we want to keep building. We want to win out. We want to show everybody that we're the best, essentially.
The coaches talked to us this week about this previously to the Drummondville game, but even though I think as a team we knew that it's our last couple of games before playoffs, so we don't want to play sloppy. We don't want to take our foot off the gas pedal. So we're just gonna keep pushing, and I think we were gonna win these games and be prepared for the playoff after.
Awesome. Justin, thank you very much for joining me today. Good luck in the last 7 games and hopefully a long and deep playoff run for you.
Thank you very much.
After the Portland Winterhawks acquired his rights from Kamloops, it didn't take long for Tyson Jugnauth to leave Wisconsin and join one of the top teams in the WHL. The Seattle Kraken prospect has had no problems adjusting to the CHL game. Tyson tells us what into his decision to leave school and join the Winterhawks, how it's been in Portland since he joined the club in mid-December, his first visit to his hometown of Kelowna, and how the Hawks are approaching the upcoming playoffs. Here's Tyson Jugnauth. My second guest today is from the 7th-ranked team in the CHL Top 10. He's a Seattle Kraken prospect from the Portland Winterhawks. It's Tyson Jugnauth. Tyson, how you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm pretty good. It's March 8th. It's International Women's Day today. It's also NHL trade deadline day today. The trade deadline's obviously it's past now, but as an NHL prospect, I'm kind of curious. Do you follow along with it? I know you had practice this afternoon, but do you follow along with it, or do you follow along even more closely now that you are an NHL prospect? How does it work for you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Trade deadline though is an exciting part of the year. You can see, what teams are buying, what teams are selling, who's loading up to go for a run. So, but it's pretty similar each year. I don't really pay more attention to it now that I'm drafted or not. It's just, kind of is what it is. Just, it's fun to watch and see what happens in the NHL.
What I feel like I probably know what you're going to say here, but what's been your most surprising or shocking trade today, or combination of trades over the last week, 2 weeks?
I mean, again, one was pretty crazy to me. Even one of my buddies actually got traded in that, Cruz Lucius. So it was kind of cool to see, one of your buddies getting traded. But there's been a couple of crazy ones, even the Hannafin deal, the Hurdle deal today as well. So it's been a few big ones.
Seems like Vegas gets almost everybody, right? You get Hurdle, Hannafin, Mantha in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent place to play. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, the Winterhawks are first in the WHL's Western Conference, 1 point ahead of the always dangerous Prince George Cougars. You guys are 4 points behind Saskatoon for first overall in the dub. Just kind of curious what the conversations are like in the dressing room right now.
yeah, for sure. With playoff time coming up, we know how big it is to have a good starting position in the playoffs. To secure that top spot at the end of these 8 games or something we have left, it's going to be huge. Obviously, like it's talked about within the room, but it's more game by game, trying to win every night instead of looking at the big picture and being like, yeah, if we win these 9, we're probably going to end up in first. So it's more game by game, and then see where we fall after that.
Is that the same message from the coaching staff as well?
Yeah, for sure. They're really putting that on us. They want us to, take it game by game, week by week, and they're not, they don't want us to look too ahead and, read into the standings too much.
But like you said, you guys are still like you don't shy away from expressing the fact that you guys, want to win the league, want to head to the Memorial Cup and win the Memorial Cup. Like, is that something that's, taboo? You don't talk about it at all? Or you guys still talk about it, but know that the main focus is one game at a time?
It's still talked about for sure. Like we'll have meetings, and it's like, we know we are in the standings. We know that we're 1 point out of PG, 4 points behind Saskatoon. Like, we know where we stand, but it's more important to us to win each game every night. Hope to be, first at the end of the regular season and hope to be in the Memorial Cup.
Well, I spoke with Gabe Clausen, I think it was around the end of October. So before you even joined the Winterhawks, and at that point the team was at the top of the CHL top 10. You guys have managed to stay in the rankings 19 of the 22 weeks. So how have the Winterhawks been able to remain so consistent throughout the entire season?
Yeah, I think since I got here in late December, we're a really consistent team. I think we play with skill and, poise with the puck every single night. Um, and I think the biggest thing is it's hard for teams to handle the depth we have. So we have four good lines, six good defensemen, two good goalies. So, over the course of 60 minutes, that just wears different teams down.
Was that part of the reason that you decided to come over and join Portland once they acquired your rights?
Yeah, for sure. We had a great team in Wisconsin too. We were winning a ton, but at the end of the day, it wasn't the best fit for me. And, looking at where Portland was in the standings, looking at, the potential they have to go on a long run this year, it was, no brainer for me. I wanted to come here and join a winning team.
Obviously, as a Kelowna guy, you're familiar with the WHL, so it's not like it's a surprise on who the Winterhawks are or even who Mike Johnson is. But what was his pitch to you? Like when, what sold you on it? Like what was there one thing that he said? What was the role that he kind of told you that you were going to have with the team?
Yeah, for sure. My role in Wisconsin was pretty limited. I didn't have a ton of opportunity there. So, when we first talked, rights first got acquired by Portland, he told me that I was going to have a bigger role here. Power play, penalty kill, like all these different situations that I want to play in. So that was an eye opener for me for sure. And then, growing up in Kelowna, watching the Rocks all the time, it was, when the Winterhawks came to town, everyone wanted to go because they're always super skilled, super good teams. So, when the opportunity rolled around for me to wear a Winterhawks jersey, it was, I wanted to do it right away.
Yeah, well, you must have grown up watching some of those powerhouse teams that culminated with the 2013 team with, Seth Jones and Patan and so on that team. Like they were some high octane teams.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the Rockets back in the day, they were really good too. So there's some, battles to go on with Kelowna and Portland. So those games are always fun to go to.
What's been the biggest difference for you since coming over to the WHL? Is it the age maturity thing? Like not just like the on ice stuff, but what's been the biggest change for you?
Yeah, the age for sure is a big difference. And the Western League, you have 16 to 20-year-olds. In college, you've got, maybe you have a couple 18-year-olds, but usually it's like 19 to 25-year-olds. So, the age is definitely a big difference, even like play wise. It's more defensive in college. It's harder, but the top end skill on the dub is probably better in my opinion. There's some really, really talented players in this league. So
There's a few other BC boys on the team, and Cagnoni and Maury and Chizowski. Did you know any of those guys?
yeah, I played with Chiz on Team BC when we were 15. And then like growing up, I played against Kegs and Mo and stuff like that. So, but I never really knew them too well. It's just, growing up playing against them.
Obviously, it's got to help a little bit coming into a new room and at least having some familiar faces there, even if you don't know them well.
Yeah, totally. It was easier to come in as an older guy as well. With hopefully some guys looking up to you, which is, it's definitely easier to come in that way. But the guys right away were super welcoming to me, and knowing Chiz, knowing Josh Davies, it really helped.
And it's a tight room in Portland from everything that I've heard from guys on the team. How did some of the old dogs like Clausen and Stefan and O'Brien, who seemed like they kind of came with the building when it was built, how did they help you acclimate to the team in the league?
Yeah, I mean those guys have been great to me. They're great to me right away. Coming in, I flew in from Wisconsin. Played my first game the next day, so it was no practicing, just straight into games. So they helped me a ton. They've been in the league for 5 years. They've played 250 games each, so they have the experience. They know what it's like to play in this league.
So why or how have you been able to, click with everybody so quickly and mesh with everybody so easily?
I think it's just a super tight group in there. It's just, everyone gets along. There's no cliques. You can talk to whoever. You can, hang out with whoever. So that definitely helps you. Like, you go in there and all of a sudden you're hanging out with these three guys, and 5 minutes later with another three guys, and you just get to know everybody really quickly.
Who's been the most impressive, skill wise person that you weren't maybe sure about once you got on the ice with them?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer because there's so many guys. Like, obviously you heard of Caglione. He's, really special. You watched him last year and this year, and then, even Gabe and Steph, Danielson, Chizowski, like all these guys are just like super skilled. So it's hard to really pick one that I was like, wow.
That's a very diplomatic answer right there.
Yeah.
Who's who keeps the room loose?
Oh, Chizowski for sure. Like he never has a straight face on. It's always a smile. He's always cracking a joke. He's always making fun of somebody. So, it's always fun to be around him and hang out with him.
As a defenseman, how good is Jan Spoonar? Like 1.95 goals against, 921 save percentage. What does he do for your confidence, knowing that you can take some risks, and if you turn the puck over, it's not going to cost you?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're at the blue line, you're trying to get a shot through and trying to make a move. You always are like, okay, Spoonie's back there. He's got us. We make a mistake, or there's a defensive breakdown because those happen in games. It's always like, okay, Spoonie's got us this game. So, it's really nice to have him. And even Justin Merrick, our backup, I think, it's not talked about enough how he can step in the pipes and, do the same thing. He's a really good goalie as well. So,
and offensively for you, things have been going really well. You got 7 goals, 31 points in the 33 games that you've played. So second only to Caglione on the team for scoring by defensemen. How do you feel the adjustment from Wisconsin to the WHL, your on ice adjustment? How has that gone for you? How do you feel?
It's been good. I feel like I lost a little bit of offensive touch in Wisconsin. I wasn't producing as much as I wanted to. And, it's not all about points, but at the end of the day, when you're not getting those points, you're probably not doing something right. So to see that production kind of go up and, feel better, feel like I'm making more plays, creating more chances, it's really nice.
And you said you weren't getting a lot of opportunities there. So how long does it take you to get used to, playing more games, playing more minutes, and playing more minutes in higher leverage situations?
Yeah, I mean, it takes you a couple games for sure. I had a similar role when I was with West Kelowna in the BCHL. So I've been in this position before. It's just, really cherishing the opportunity. And every time you step on the ice, you want to make something happen.
Well, and like you said, you stepped in without any problems. Couple of power play assists in your first game. Did that give you let you exhale a little bit? Say, all right, I'm here. I can do this. I fit in.
Yeah, for sure. That first game for me, it was a teddy bear toss, sold out crowd. So it's pretty easy for me to get excited for that one. But it was just for me, it was going out and playing another game. And to get those couple assists was great, but I thought I played a really solid game all around as well.
And then I want to ask you about the December 15th overtime against Spokane. Just your 4th game in the WHL. Kind of take me through that because it was a pretty incredible shift, the puck control that you had, and then getting it to James Stefan for the game winner there.
Sealed there by Feist, comes out, Jugnauth out front, gets around Roulette then pucks it away, but Jugnauth gets it back. Jugnauth coming over left circle, throws it on net, and it hits off the left side of the netting. Back to Jugnauth. Jugnauth now spins, getting around Roulette. Roulette sticking with him. Jugnauth under pressure, gets it free, back out to Stefan, who shoots, save made there by Michaluk. Stefan back with it, right circle, turns, shoots, and scores. Portland just kept the pressure on. The Chiefs never got the puck back.
Take me through that shift from your point of view.
Yeah, honestly, so long ago, I don't really remember it, but I think it was more just kind of instinct. Like I saw a stick and a body, and I just tried to get around it. And, the puck just kept coming back to me. Like I shot one, it rimmed right back to me. So, it was just nice to have the puck on your stick for that long and, make things happen. And it was nice, and James scored that one.
What was the reaction like on the bench? Because like I said, it wasn't like just, skate into the zone. You skated around the zone. You had the puck for quite a while there. What was the reaction from the boys once they filed off the ice?
Yeah, I heard a couple of looked like you were playing pond hockey out there, or I had my leg over the bench 3 times. I thought you were going to score, but I think at the end of the day, everyone was going up to James because he's the one that scored it. So
That's good. Good way to cement yourself with the rest of the boys, right?
yeah, for sure. It's a good way to start off.
And then January 17th, you must have had that one circled on the calendar once you joined the club. First game in Kelowna. What was it like, putting on the Winterhawks jersey, but stepping on the ice in Kelowna against, the team you grew up cheering for?
Yeah, I mean, it's always really special. You grow up watching the Rockets. They come to your school. You have friends that build them. It's like God to you when you're younger. It's just like, like walk on water. So to play against them now when you're 19, it's really special. My friends and family got to come watch too, so it was really nice.
I always ask guys this that have played away from their home for a number of years, and then they get to play in their hometown. I want to know, were your friends and family that have also been growing up cheering for the Rockets, were they cheering for the Winterhawks that night, or were they just cheering for you to have a good game, but the Rockets to still win?
I think they're cheering for the Winterhawks because when we touched the puck a lot, I heard a lot of "Go Tysons" and a lot of screaming. So I think there was a lot of Winterhawks fans in that game.
How like when you look at your defense core, you joined 3 other drafted players in Kenyoni and Southern and Alsher. You guys are deep, from 1 to 6 there. How good is that? Like, how close are you guys as a defense core, and how much confidence do you have in each other that you guys can just keep rolling out every shift?
Yeah, I've gotten really close with the D-core. I think we're all really good friends. We're all tight off the ice as well, so that helps. And then having the trust to be able to roll 6 guys every night. It's not like you have to rely on one guy, 2 guys. You got 6 defensemen that can all play. We could each play 20 minutes every game, and we'd be fine. We've got 6 really good defensemen. I think as I was saying earlier, it's the depth that I don't think other teams can stick with.
And the team got even deeper when Nate Danielson was acquired. Not used to seeing Portland going out and making those kinds of moves. They usually, like, it's pretty homegrown team there. But what did that kind of say to the rest of the room when Mike goes out and gets a guy like Nate Danielson?
Yeah, I think before we got Danny, we believed we had a chance to win. And then when Mike did go out and get Danielson, it was like, okay, like, the coaches believe in us, fans believe in us, we believe in us. Like, we've got a really good chance to do this. We're willing to give up, as much as we did to get Danielson. So I think he's a huge part of our team. You can tell how skilled he is, how good he is. So, it was a huge pickup for us. And it just, gave us that extra belief that, everyone believes we can do it.
And like I mentioned off the top, your Seattle Kraken prospect, obviously a lot closer to Seattle now than you were before. How often do you talk to them, talk to the dev staff, and what kinds of things do you guys talk about?
Yeah, I talk to them quite a bit. Dragicevic and Caden Hamill are also prospects, so when I replay against them, they'll try and come out and watch. So I get to see them quite a bit, and then I talk to development staff probably once every like 1 or 2 weeks. So staying in touch with them a lot, and they help me with different like little areas of my game.
Is it nice to have them that much closer now? So if you have questions, it's you don't have to worry about time zones or anything. You can just reach out and know that you'll get a response on a question or a problem that you might have.
Yeah, for sure. It's nicer to be closer, but even when I had questions in Wisconsin, they were really good. They'd get back to me right away. They'd set up stuff right away for me. So, I mean, they're a first-class organization when it comes to development. I think they've given me everything I wanted and needed. So I can't say enough good things about them.
Is it kind of, wild when you look at all the prospects that the Kraken have that are across the CHL that are just lighting it up right now? Like, obviously Furcus is another one. You've got Rakoff, who's leading the OHL in goals as well, just to name a couple other guys. Like, does it get you excited about the future?
for sure. It's, you look at stats across the league and you're like, okay, well, he's a Kraken prospect. There's another one. There's another one. It's like all in the top 10 of scoring, top 10 of goals. It's like, I think they did pretty well in the past draft. So,
For sure. Like you said, 8 games left in the regular season. 5 of those games are coming against Seattle and Tri-City. So 2 teams that are out of it, but are looking to play spoilers. So what are the dangers of playing teams like that don't have anything to lose at this point?
yeah, I think you hit it. They don't have anything to lose. They just go out and play. They've got guys that are looking for opportunity next year, guys maybe looking for NHL contracts, 20-year-olds looking to get signed. So, it's not like they're out of it. Like, they're going to keep playing hard. I don't even know if they have the chance to make the playoffs still. Like, who knows if they win their next 9, maybe they're in it. So I think there's no loss of belief in those rooms. And I think we can't take them too lightly.
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, you guys are in Seattle, but this time you guys get to play at Climate Pledge Arena, so your future home barn. How much are you guys looking forward to going and playing in that rink?
Yeah, I think it's been talked about quite a bit. The 2 scoreboards, you never see that in any other rink, so that's gonna be fun to play in. And then just, it's a great facility. It's gonna be really fun to play there. It's not too often or ever you get to play in an NHL rink, so it'll be really fun. Hopefully we get a good crowd there.
And you guys are home against Wenatchee this weekend, who's still looking to shore up home ice themselves. And then you have Spokane on Tuesday, which could be a potential first round matchup for you guys. What do you guys have to do, in your final 8 games? We've kind of touched on it a little bit, but to tighten everything up and just make sure you guys are ready to go for puck drop and game 1 of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's playing that playoff style hockey. It's, not cheating, taking everyone like it's a playoff game. Like, it's kind of hard to answer because it's one game at a time. You don't want to, get too ahead of yourselves. Like right now we're focusing on Wenatchee and, trying to win that game. And once that Saturday night comes around, that game's done, then it'll be on to Spokane and get on the bus and prepare for Spokane. So for right now, it's just taking it one game at a time and, seeing where we end up.
How much easier or relaxed is it in the dressing room with, so many guys that have quite a bit of playoff experience already?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a factor. It's definitely nice to have playoff experience, but at the end of the day, like, you still have to go out and win a hockey game. Like, it's, it's a different animal for sure, but it's just another hockey game. You just got to go out and play and, not think too much about it. And at the end of the day, like, I think with our depth, I think we'll have success.
Awesome. Tyson, thank you very much for this. Good luck in the final 8 games as you guys look to clinch the West and try to catch Saskatoon for the Dub title.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it. That's all for today. Thanks for listening to another episode of the CHL Top 10 Show. Leave a comment and let us know who you'd like to hear from. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe as we continue to chat with some of the biggest and brightest names across the Canadian Hockey League.